Hi, I'm James Phoenix, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Around the Pound. It is January, and you know what that means. It's time for the X-Pound's annual Year in Review Awards. That's right, our annual look back on all things entertainment-related, and also related to, what we do here on the internet. Once a year...
Porn?
Well, yes, porn, but not just the porn. Also those review things that we do once in a while.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when it comes to the porn, I will do my best to get stuck in there.
I'm sure.
I will give my award to whatever comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's stop that.
Well, we all know the award for best for that goes to One Night in Phoenix, so.
It does. Or Aeon Brighter.
I haven't heard about that one. All right, then. Anywho, so, of course, our usual categories that we go through, our usual awards are divided into categories, including films, television, video games, and then any extraneous awards that we want to throw in there related to our own reviews and whatnot.
And wrestling.
And wrestling, that's in there too, and wrestling. So, the way we're going to do this is this will be happening throughout the entire month of January here. Each Sunday there will be a video here. And so what the video will entail is each video will be focused on one of the categories, and we'll have both the worst and best awards for that category. Today, the first category we're going to focus on is television. So we will be going through what will be a grand total of 8 awards for each of us today. For the worst and best in the area of television. Joining me, as always, for the Year Review Awards, from the Mole Hole, Chris the Mole.
And hello.
And from the Shadow's Maw, Marcus Shadow.
Yellow.
Alrighty. So, we're going to go ahead and kick off these awards here. Like I said, what we will do is give a worst of an award, and then give the best of that same award, and go back and forth. And kind of keep a balance on what we're doing here, so we're not going too negative with all worst awards or anything like that there. So the first award, I'm going to actually do these in reverse order, because I think I'd like to end on the best of the biggest award at the end, if that's fine with you guys.
That's fine. Sure.
So, in that case, the first award we're going to give is the award for the worst TV actress. Pretty self-explanatory award. It's the worst actress in any kind of television capacity over the course of 2014 here. Then what do you want to go first, or do we want me to start off on each of these awards as I introduce them?
Whichever one you want to go.
I guess I'll go first then. What the hell? So, we're my worst actress, and I just came up with this because it really struck me, and I realized... it should be noted for the record again for all of these awards that these are our personal opinions. These are not necessarily the objectively considered best or worst of anything. These are what we liked and disliked the best personally for each of us. Especially in regards to things such as the worst awards, these things are not necessarily worst awards because they are bad per se, but some of them are worst awards by virtue of simply being something we specifically individually didn't like, or because simply they are the least good of a lot of good things that we've seen because we didn't have any bad things to give awards to.
Yep, because as I mentioned to Marcus, if you watch only amazing, great shows, one of them inherently has to be the worst of that group, and one has to be the best. That's what best and worst means.
Mm-hmm.
And quietness. Okay.
So, for worst TV actress, which I'm going to start out with, I'm giving worst because I don't watch very many shows on TV. So, in order to come up with one, I had to go into one that's not really bad, but for the purposes of this, not my favorite. I'm giving the worst TV actress to Adrianne Palicki. Excuse me. Adrianne Palicki, the role I'm giving it to her is for the role of Bobby Morse, also known as Mockingbird, for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the reason for this is not necessarily that she's done anything particularly bad, but the fact that her character seems to serve no purpose in the show aside from being eye candy. Which, okay, that's a purpose, but at the same time, yeah, you went through a lot of effort to introduce a character to be eye candy and to have occasional arguments with the guy in the team that was supposedly her former lover, who was making a pretty good character on bitching about his ex-wife, which he can't do anymore because now she's there and they're kind of getting back together, but not quite. And it's like, okay, I didn't need any of this subplot. This is really stupid. So I'm going to have, if you like experiencing seeing exactly her television acting regimen that lends itself well to this award, see failed Wonder Woman pilot, which she starred in.
Really? They cast her as Mockingbird?
Yeah.
Wow.
To be fair, the cancelled Wonder Woman pilot, if you watch all of it in its entirety yourself, isn't actually entirely bad. And she's not actually bad acting in it. She did the best with what they actually gave her. I would argue the script was the script was terrible. However, not everything about it was terrible, and her acting wasn't terrible. She was just in a terrible role.
Fair enough. In this case, I feel like it was the episode where she was introduced was badass because she was posing as a Hydra security agent, but then it turned out she was working for S.H.I.E.L.D. the whole time, and she kicked some ass in that, and that was pretty good. But ever since then, it seems like they had this character and no idea what the hell to do with her. Like, they're expanding the team and bringing these new characters, and I don't care about any of these new characters. It's like, stop introducing these new people. I don't care about these new people. You're not developing these new people. Her purpose is, she's the hot blonde chick, and she's the ex-wife / apparently lover, again, of the southern dude who is apparently there to be the southern dude and to complain about shit. And it's like, I don't care about either of these characters. It's like frickin' Paolo and his girlfriend from fucking Lost that got probably killed off quickly. I don't mind the southern dude as much because he has at least shown that he's capable in the field, that he makes funny comments once in a while. I'm fine with him. She doesn't seem to be serving a purpose. If there's a purpose where she's going to have something cool happen in relation to her character in the future, that's cool. But it seems like there's just not a lot of purpose in her character being there. It's kind of like what's his name there? There's another actor. He played B.J. Brad, I think the actor's name is. But he played one of the characters who, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the fall finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he got killed. He's one of the black guys. And it's like he was a really nice guy, and he worked for the last bad guy that they beat, and he joined their team when he realized the guy was insane. And he's a really nice guy, and he's like a really likable actor, but they didn't use him for much. He was just kind of there. That just seems to be a lot of these background characters, and S.H.I.E.L.D. has introduced his team, and it's okay, they're there to run around the field and do action, but what's the purpose of the characters really being there aside from we need bodies to throw around in the scenes? Just, no. So, yeah, and Adrian Palagi.
Well, if they do Mockingbird properly, she should show up in the movies and get with the person she's supposed to be with.
Who's she supposed to be with?
Hawkeye.
Black Widow might have a problem with that. Isn't she supposed to be with Hawkeye in the movies?
Yep, she's supposed to be with Hawkeye in the movies and has got with him in the comics before too.
Although, again, not entirely sure because I finally just a couple of weeks ago got around to watching Winter Soldier, and she was macking on Captain America pretty hard, so I don't know.
Yeah, but that dude's old enough to be her great-great-granddad.
This is true.
Well, maybe Black Widow has a thing for older men.
Yeah.
But then again, they also kind of hinted that Captain America was, in kind of a creepy way, going to get with the great-granddaughter of his ex-girlfriend, which is kind of weird. So, I don't know. So anyway, stay tuned for the premiere of Agent Carter this Tuesday on ABC. But anyway, yeah, so that is my worst award on that. Am I just giving my best now, or are we going to go around and you guys do your worst first?
We'll do our worst.
Okay, Mo, why don't you give your worst?
My worst was, and I may be pronouncing it slightly wrong, but Christina Masterson.
That's
who
correct.
was Emma from Super Megaforce, because out of all the Super Megaforce people, she was my least favorite. She was, the character was likable in a certain way, but she just had this goofy ass grin on her face, even during dramatic parts, sort of like how Cena does his promos. That makes me think she probably couldn't act the way out of a paper bag.
Mm.
So she may not be the worst on TV this year, but out of the stuff I've seen, no, she's the worst.
Fair enough.
Over to the hot Asian, who is also old enough to be Black Widow's great-great-granddad.
Fuck you. And isn't it supposed to go
And
back
thank
to
you.
the host who kicks it over to me?
Yes, and that's not related to Black Widow because that's not that chick who he's that different character. Confusing. Anyway,
Yeah, but I made the joke of Black Widow was because you said she was making out with Captain America and Winter Soldier.
fair enough. I'm just saying that wasn't related to the great grandfather reference I was making. That was another chick that they were pairing him with in that movie. But anyway,
It was, but when you mentioned she was making out with Black Widow, I was like, yeah, but come on, that dude's old enough to be her great-great-granddad.
I didn't say
And you're
making.
like, yeah.
I didn't say making out. I said she was macking on. There's a difference. But anyway, yes.
Fair,
let's go.
macking normally means kissing.
Okay, I said okay. I don't know slang.
You don't know about kissing either, apparently.
It's cool. He meant she was like flirting or hitting on me. It's cool.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
He messed up his terminologies. It happens.
Mhm. Anyway, but yeah, so let's go over to the ancient Asian Marcus Shadow.
The ancient Asian. Now, my worst actress, I also gave it to Christina Masterson from Super Mega Force.
Aw.
I don't watch a lot of TV. Most of the TV I watch is actual real stuff like, Food Network, DIY, stuff like that. Really gotten into a lot of property stuff. But anyway, yeah, so Christina Masterson, I mean, she was serviceable. She was okay. As far as Power Rangers goes, she was half decent. But yeah, of everything I've seen this year, and she could do better. And as Jim pointed out when we were watching the finale, yeah, Sierra Hana acts better.
Fair enough.
Back to Jim.
Mm. All right. So, in that case, we'll do the best of the TV actresses then.
Best.
Indeed. So for my best TV actress, sticking with the same show that I gave my other award to, I gave Best TV Actress to, from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Chloe Bennett, who plays, again, spoiler if you haven't seen the finale, they've revealed who her character actually was, Daisy Sky Johnson of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because she's done a really great job in that show, portraying the arc, the emotions of Sky. She's going through all this from her initial introduction to S.H.I.E.L.D., where she didn't trust him because she was working with an underground hacker organization, to her learning to trust S.H.I.E.L.D., to kind of seeing Coulson as a father figure, to her complicated relationship with drawn-on beard guy, the Ward. And how she felt when he turned out to be evil, and their relationship with that, and their interactions while he was being held prisoner by S.H.I.E.L.D., and then her feelings about the finding of her father, played by Colin McLaughlin, who's awesome, and how she feels about that, and her relationship with that, and coming to terms with who she is and what S.H.I.E.L.D. means to her. She's just done a great job with a lot of the show focusing around her for a lot of the last couple seasons. So she's done a really great job, and I like Chloe Bennett in the role. She's awesome. Like, she's got that. She can do that awesome intensity, but she's also got that slight innocence about her. That's like, she's got the intensity, but you can tell with the character that the character's still not entirely comfortable with being that person, but she's getting there, and that's what's pretty cool. She can strike that balance, and I like that.
Nice.
Indeed. Mo, your best TV actress.
I went with Rowan Blanchard, who plays Riley Matthews on Girl Meets World. Oh my god, is that girl likable? She is basically exactly like Chloe was with growing up. Like, when she feels sad, you feel sad. When she feels happy, you're like, yay, she's happy. And she has this, like, likable, really, like, innocence about her in the same way Corey did, where you never like whenever Corey made a mistake, you never thought he's making that mistake because he's stupid. You just thought he's really naive. Oh, he's made a mistake because he's so naive, and she's the same way, and she's just great in that role. I really do like her in Girl Meets World.
Nice.
Back to Jim.
Alrighty, Marcus Shadow, how about yours?
Well, my best actress technically doesn't go to an actress, but hey, she was on a TV show that I watch. I'm giving it to Carrie Byron from MythBusters because she's fucking awesome, and I understand why they did it, but fuck them for canning those three.
I was disappointed that they got rid of those three.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Fair enough.
And Carrie's hot, but she's married with children, so yeah.
Well, there you go.
She's a really outdated soap or slash sitcom. No, I'm obviously kidding that, but yeah, I liked her. I also liked like Grant and Tori and stuff, and
Yep.
I was a little gutted that they got rid of those things. I was like, oh come on. I understand that they're going back to just Adam and Jamie and it cuts costs, and that's what the show started as. But just because the show started that way, it's evolved with how many fucking seasons with the other ones to the point where it's you can't really do that.
Yeah, that and with Adam and Jamie aging, I almost felt like if they were going to cut anyone, it would have been Adam and Jamie to kind of be like MythBusters of the next generation kind of thing of let the three of them take over because they could totally do that. Not that I would want them to cut Adam and Jamie.
I was the opposite. I always thought if Adam and Jamie got too old to hang it up, the show would just end because you can't do MythBusters without the original MythBusters. That doesn't work because it was all from them to help. Their headquarters is basically Jamie's office, his workstation. It's like without them, there is no show.
I don't know. See, the way I look at it is if they hung it up, they would go behind the scenes, be like the producers and stuff, so they would still use Jamie's office and stuff like that. But, I don't know, because to me, okay, yeah, they are in the MythBusters, the two of them, but I could totally see this being, a long-running series with different people taking over, and especially, like you said, with how many seasons Cary Grant and Tori have been doing it, they've really built up that reputation and that and the legitimacy of what they do and stuff like that in terms of being MythBusters, and that interaction with the fans and the fact that that trust with the fans, that I could totally see them being like, if Jamie and Adam decided to hang it up, I could totally see them being like, okay, the fans know you've built up that thing with the fans, and you've been doing it long enough, you guys take over because you can still run this for several years on. And then maybe even working in a new smaller sub team of like 2 or 3 people that alternate with them so they could build up even the next generation after that.
See, I was of the opinion it needs to stay with Adam and Jamie. They're the heart of the show and they're what made it what it was. I was disappointed the other 3 went because I'll be honest, I only think MythBusters has 1 or 2 years left in it because it's supposed to be a show that investigates myths, hence the title MythBusters, and they're doing stuff like fucking zombie apocalypses and what happens is Star Wars based on fact? Like, could Ewoks really crush a fucking chicken walker? It's like, really? You're going that route? Really? That's not fucking myths. That's stupid shit that we already know the answer to. And you make it really biased depending on whether or not they're actually paying you to do that. I don't know. I preferred it when they were actually doing myths. Like, I'll be honest, I even miss Scotty. But that might just be me. I didn't like. I like MythBusters. I still watch it, but I don't like that swap from myths to. Did Hollywood get it right? Because it's like that's almost a different show.
Perhaps. I don't know. I kind of like the Hollywood stuff because probably for the same reason they like doing it, they like exploring it, is because a lot of times, especially for the viewers who aren't that technically might or who don't, the casual viewer, they look at it and they say sometimes, and I know sometimes I think this of, is that really possible? Would that actually really be possible, or is that just something that you'd only be able to do in Hollywood? And some of the results are actually surprising. It's like, wow, you can actually do that. Okay, then.
Yeah, which like I said, I don't mind it. I still watch it. I still like that. It's just some of them, like for example, the Star Wars one. They used the wrong size logs, a really weak metal fucking van to do it. It was like they rigged it in favor of getting the positive results to make Disney money, and they've done that with a load of them. And I'm like, stop
See, I
this.
thought they used the right size logs because I thought they actually measured that stuff. And in terms of the van, yeah, fair enough. I don't know if you'd ever get something as strong as an ATST Walker based on what it's supposedly made of. And like they said, they did the best approximation they could with earthly materials. And like, okay, we'll just get an armored truck because it's armored.
And yeah, but when you looked at how it looked in the actual thing, those logs were much big. Those logs were like much smaller. The ones in MythBusters seemed bigger to make it heavier, so they could do it. And it's like, I don't know, it seemed like they rigged it. And I was like, And I know a load of fans were the same way of, wait a minute, no, everything's wrong about this. You've done it to rig it in favor, which I don't like that. Like, it went from being, what is this urban legend true? Is this myth true? To which guest star can we bring on this week to further our money?
True.
I didn't like that.
Fair
That would have been a great spin-off show, though. They could have easily done that as a spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hollywood Buster.
They should do that. They should. I don't know if Jamie and Adam would like it, but you have Mythbusters with Jamie and Adam, and then you have like on the Hollywood Mythbusters, or Hollywood Busters, as you put it, with the other three. I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. But
We've gone off on a tangent.
Yeah, we have. I think back to Jim.
Yes, back to the host.
All right. Okay. So I lost track where we were on that tangent. Did you give your best actress, Marcus?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next award, and that is our worst TV actor. Again, kind of self-explanatory. For worst TV actor, I give it to Christopher Walken for his appearance in Peter Pan Live, the musical. Because I'm sorry, as much as I like Peter Pan the musical, and as much as I like Christopher Walken, he phoned in that performance completely. He clearly did not know what he was doing there, or it wasn't really into it at all. And I don't know if that's just because he didn't understand what he was getting into when he signed the contract, or if it's because they didn't let him dance. I don't know, but one way or another, he was just really not in his role at all, and it hurt the production immensely. So, that's mine. Mole, how about you?
I went with Drake Bell. For his role as Peter Parker Spider-Man in the shitty Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. Because, don't get me wrong, I like Drake Bell. I liked Josh and Drake. You know I liked the Fairly Odd Parents live-action movies. I've mentioned that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't like the dude. I just don't like his Spider-Man. And some of it is how it's written, but his voice is way too goofy, and it is a goofy show. But I don't know. I'm like him. I much preferred the voice actors we've had before him. This one just feels, I don't know. I don't like him in that role. So yeah, worst TV actor, voice actor Drake Bell for Peter Parker / Spider-Man.
So was he regular Peter Parker Spider-Man or one of the alternate ones?
He's regular Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Ah, fair enough. I know you mentioned there was a kind of big arc with all the Ultimate Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, they're doing it with the basically, so it's it's called Web Warriors or something, where it's basically like the comic book arc event that was going on at the same time of the Spider-Verse, where they're going to, we're now teaming up with Miles from Ultimate Spider-Man, now we're teaming up with this Spider-Man, now we're teaming up with this Spider-Man and stuff, which that's kind of a cool concept. Completely ass wasted on the show like this.
Fair enough.
So that's literally like trying to tell Kingdom Come on Teen Titans Go. I love Teen Titans Go. That's not the outlet for Kingdom Come.
No, not particularly.
No.
Fair enough. Marcus, how about you?
All right, worst actor in a TV series. I gave mine to Shailesh Prajapati, or Power Rangers Super Mega Force. I think he did a better job in Super Mega Force than he did in Mega Force. However, I don't like the character, and I don't like how he portrays the character. And my guess is part of that's probably the direction that he's been given. It's like, we want you to be like this, but I'm just like, no, I don't like the jokes. I don't like his role really. And before anyone says it, no, it's not because I'm biased against the fact that they called him Ernie. I don't like that, but that does not go into my choice of why I don't like the character himself. I just don't like how the character acts, and whether that's a conscious choice of Shailesh or the writing or the directing or a combination of all of it. Still, it's just like, you could have done better, dude.
Which is fair enough. Although they could have done worse.
They
In
could
that
have.
same show, I give to you Loch Ness monster hunting teacher.
I think the other thing that rubbed me the wrong way a little bit too is with all the what fans have been talking about for years with Saban talking about how he's like racist and stuff. To me, Shailesh's character of Ernie was way too over stereotypically, over stereotyped to the point that it's racist. Because literally, he played basically Apu, and I'm just like, no, come on. You're coming out here telling people that no, I'm not racist. No, that just that just happened to be that way. I didn't intend it that way. And then you go and make this character. I'm like, yeah, you're not making a good case for yourself, buddy.
I'd argue he wasn't that racist. He was just a goofy, over-the-top fucking salesman behind a diner.
Yep, fair enough.
It wasn't like he was like actually going like, thank you, come again.
He might not have said the words, but that's every time I saw him on screen, that's what it felt like. It felt like he was fucking Apu running a fucking Froyo stand. I'm like, no, just no. I mean, can you imagine Apu running a Froyo stand instead of the Quickie Mart? Exactly. So back to the host.
All right. So, with that, we'll move on to the best actor in a TV series.
You're the best around.
And again, sticking with my theme, because I
Rising
was just
from the ashes.
well, that too, but I had a hard time really deciding this one because there were a couple of really good actors from TV this year, and I was debating which one to give it to. But in the long haul, I decided to give it to Clark Gregg of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Coulson, of course, because he has just done a great job on that show. And with all the emotions he's had to portray between finding out the origin of exactly how he's alive and how that affects his life and his perception of the world, and his taking Skye under his wing as kind of a daughter figure, kind of training her, kind of helping her come to terms with what's going on in her life and being there for her. His portrayal of a guy going insane from this alien writing that's manifesting in his brain, having to find out what that is, to leading the organization and becoming the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and having that thrust upon him. Clark Gregg, as he always does in the role, has just knocked the character of Coulson out of the park and just plays it wonderfully, and I just love watching him every week.
Clark Gregg is a good actor. I like him.
So, Mo, how about you?
I went with Michael Malarkey. I hope I'm getting that name right. Michael Malarkey.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
He plays Enzo in the Vampire Diaries.
Ah, nice.
Normally in the Vampire Diaries, they introduce a new character after season 2. Whenever they've introduced a new character, you've been like, this character's not going to last long. I don't want him to last long. I just kind of want to see this character die. That's kind of how the new characters have gone after about season 3. Enzo arrives season 5, and I'm like, oh, I like this guy straight away from the get-go. He's like he's got the whole thing with like the banter back and forth with Damon acting like a role model. He flirts with Caroline. He even got pissed off and beat the shit out of Steph, and he just acted a whole shitload of emotions and really made me like the character to the point where, slight spoiler alert, when he died, I was like, no, come on, I wanted Enzo line to happen, as some people call it. I personally prefer the term Kenzo, but other people ship the name Enzo line. But still, Then he came back, and I'm like, yes, fuck you. And I love the fact he came back, and they're like, wait, you're back? He's just like, yep, and just walks the fuck off. I'm like, that's awesome. I love this character.
Nice.
Over to Jim.
That was good. Marcus Shadow, how about your best actor?
I give my best actor to James Spader for Blacklist because come on, James fucking Spader, evil. That's all I really need to say.
I got my hopes up. For a minute, I thought you were going to say James Phoenix.
Ha.
One
Yeah,
best.
but you're not an actor. That's how you really are.
True.
But yes, if you haven't checked out Blacklist, check it out. It's worth it for James Spader alone because he is fucking creepy, and he's awesome though because he's very cerebral. He's one of those actors that if you have him play a cerebral character, a character that's always thinking, he will make you believe he's always thinking just by his presence alone. And not a lot of actors or actresses can do that. Just by looking at him, you're like, yeah, he's thinking. You're kind of fucked. But or he's basically Batman. He's like always like 10 steps ahead. He always has a plan, you know?
He's godmothered to fuck.
Kind of, yeah. Not quite, probably not quite to the point of Batman, but pretty damn close.
I was gonna say that's not a good thing. Being godmothered's not a good thing.
But see,
it
the
does
difference
sound-
between
it
him
does
and
sound like
Batman,
he's good in the role, though.
yeah, the difference between that character and Batman is he doesn't overuse his god-moddedness. You know he's god-modded, but that doesn't mean he's going to use that against you. Which I like, because it's like, yeah, I'm gonna basically defeat you the way that Batman is supposed to beat his opponents, but does
By
it
punching
really
him in
now?
the face.
No, I said the way he's supposed to, not the way he does it now. By basically,
By hitting him in the face with a batarang?
no, James Spader's character prefers to use bullets, but okay. But no,
By swinging and drop kicking them on a grapple line, gun line?
I'm sure he's done that given his character's career choice.
By tying them up with grappling hook and hanging them up from a lamppost upside down?
Sure, he's done that too. But no, by getting into his opponent's or his target's head, I'm basically making them defeat themselves by sheer fact of they're scared of what he's going to do because it's him. But he doesn't have to pull that stuff out.
Yeah, I have seen bits of that show, not a lot, but the bits I've seen was pretty good in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the thing I love most about that character in that show is the fact that the main character, aside from him, is it's basically a Hannibal Lecter type show because she's like a profiler type person that works for like the FBI or some shit. She's a new person, and so you're like, okay, well the good guys are the FBI, but in the entirety of the show, if you watch it, you never once believe that the FBI knows what the fuck they're doing. You never once believe that they're in control. You always believe that James Spader's character is in control, even when it seems like he's not. You know he's in control. And
To be fair, after all the stuff that's happened with 9/11 and how they've gone after the hackers that have brought down a load of stuff, I honestly don't believe in real life the FBI knows what the fuck they're doing.
fair enough.
Fair enough.
That's like saying, oh my god, they cast Samuel Jackson and they made you believe he's black. But yes, I kind of believed it.
Yeah, that's the reason why James Spader is that awesome, because he's the kind of actor that can bring that kind of presence to a character of you always believe he's in control.
Yeah, like I said, from the bits, and I think I've seen an episode or two. Like I said, he was actually really good in that. He reminds me, not quite as good, but he reminds me of, like you mentioned, Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal. I don't think he's as good as Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal. I don't think he's near that level, but he's still really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is he better than the TV show guy that plays Hannibal?
Have not seen the show.
I've not seen that show, but it looked pretty good. I was just waiting because I was like, I don't want this show to get cancelled. Load of shows like that I like and tend to get cancelled before they actually come over here. So I was like, I'll wait till season 2 or 3. So if it's got like an extra season or two, I'll start buying the DVDs.
Yeah, I heard that show's good. I heard the guy who plays Hannibal Lecter, from what a lot of people have said, is better than Anthony Hopkins.
I have read that.
No, but no, I haven't seen the show. So back to the host.
Fair enough. All right. So then, we're going to move on to the worst TV show recurring. This is a worst TV show that was on the air prior to 2014 and was renewed for a new season that aired in 2014. And I'm not sure if you gentlemen agreed with me on this one, but this is pretty much the, I think it might be, I don't know, it was one of the View Awards that I didn't have to change because I retained the answer from last year. I think you agreed with me last year. If you still agree with me, feel free to jump in on this. But worst recurring TV show, Monday Night Raw.
Yep. I agree.
Fair enough. Yeah. If anybody's been watching WXR X Marks, you kind of know why, but long story short, there's just so many problems with that show. The talent not being used properly, the matches are shit, the creative booking is stupid, the dialogue is terrible, the commentators suck, and yet we're still programmed to watch it. Damn you, Vince McMahon.
Yep, and the leadership is split.
Yeah.
And then you can tell that there's...
Well, no, we have leadership again. The authority is back, even though they had nothing to do with that.
I meant the actual leadership, the real leadership is split.
They are the real leadership.
No, I'm talking about Vince and Triple H. Because you can tell Triple H has one vision, Vince has another, but Vince is technically the one in charge, so half the time Triple H gets shot the fuck down. Cough, NXT, cough.
Uh-huh.
Because NXT is Triple H's vision.
Yep.
And if that's his vision, fucking bring that to Raw. That will instantly make it 10 times better. But no, Vince won't allow that. So it's like, yeah, fuck off.
Nope. Molly, have an opinion on this?
I didn't think Raw was the worst one this year, and I've enjoyed parts of Raw this year.
Okay. Let's not say it doesn't have its good parts. There are good things that happen on Raw sometimes. It just felt, especially this year with the comparisons to NXT, it just felt like the bad just outweighed the good.
It did for a bit of the year, but then it picked back up to the point where I was like, yay, I kind of enjoyed that. And as we've mentioned before now with Raws, there's been like a load of great Raws in the last year and stuff, and I've been like, nah, I've enjoyed that.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And now Daniel Bryan's back, so the yes chance can shift everyone who's not Daniel Bryan.
Maybe.
Hopefully not, but we'll see. But yeah, so over to Mo. How about your worst recurring TV show?
Before he goes for more on that, check out X Marks, which was recorded yesterday.
Yep. I went with
Richard Hammer.
Yeah, I went with Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Which is fair enough.
As people know, I like comic books. As people know as well, when they saw the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff, I loved the first episode. I was willing to give that series a try, and I kept watching it. And yeah, it's got to the point now where I'm like, I can't watch this shit. It's acted terribly. The plots make no sense. The construct of what the show is makes no sense because it's like, well, where's this guy? Where's this guy? Where's this guy? And it's just fucking terrible. Like, drawn-on beard guy became fucking worse of a villain than fucking Dr. Claw.
Ah.
What the fuck? He became more cartoonish than a cartoon villain. How is this possible? And it's become a point where as people know, I've stuck with Monday Night Raw. It's bad, but I've stuck with it. I even stuck with Marvel Comics in the 90s when they were fucking terrible. This, I can't stick with it. It's fucking terrible. Back to Jim.
And fair enough. You know, we really disagree on that, and that's understandable. So, moving along. Time for the best recurring TV shows. For once again on this award, I think I retained this because I'm really sure I had it here last year. But it should be no fact anybody that knows me. The best recurring TV show is Person of Interest. Yes. Still awesome. A lot more drama this year. They're dropping the stakes a little bit with the team now being operating underground and using false identities because they lost all their resources when the evil machine went online called Samaritan and kind of went to war with their machine. And now the machines are kind of going to a more full-on war, and Samaritan is like, you know, I will, and if you want to be the machine, I will destroy you, and I'll show you what I can do to destroy the world. And it makes New York a hellhole for a day after showing that it can make it really good for a day too. And spoiler alert, if you didn't see the fall finale, it's going to crash the stock market and try to fuck the world up, or at least the country. And there's a lot of intensity going on, a lot of great acting for all the actors. I was tempted to give Michael Emerson the best actor, but I felt that Clark Gregg deserved it more. But Michael Emerson is doing a great job with trying to come to terms with their new situation. You know, all of them just working great together. The intensity is up, the drama is up. It's still just an awesome show. I love it. It's the fourth season and it's still as strong as ever. Check it out if you get a chance. Person of Interest. It's coming back in March, I think.
Cool.
Maybe a little before that. They might be actually no. That's coming back in January. It's Agents of Shield. It's not until March because of Agent Carter. Sorry. Sometime in the next couple of weeks, check out more Person of Interest. It's coming back. It's awesome. CBS, Tuesday, 10 o'clock. So yes, Person of Interest. Mole, your best recurring TV show.
I will say, if you haven't got this down on your list, you have failed this city. I, of course, am speaking of Arrow.
Nice.
And in case people are wondering, that is his catchphrase, in case you hadn't seen it. It's a catchphrase in Season 1. They used it a little bit in Season 2, which was the one I'm talking about now, with a little bit of Season 3, which has started up in 2014 as well. Awesome. Like, Season 2, while there was some parts I didn't like, I will admit, as a whole series, it did build brilliantly. Like, you got the personal, I don't know what you'd call it, like, story with him relating to Deathstroke and what's going to happen. When Deathstroke went a little cartoony, but it's still built. He dealt with a personal death in his family, and it all built to the point where the entire city started to be destroyed, and all of these fucking like super soldiers, and I don't mean Captain America. I mean like they're filled with like fucking Miracle, as it's called, which gives them like super strength, super reflexes. They can jump really fucking high. They can punch through people through fucking walls, terrorize an entire city to the point that the Green Arrow has to team up with the Suicide Squad for the end episode and the fucking League of Assassins to take them all down. That's fucking huge. And they found the same way through the same season to place the seeds for a spin-off show.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Oh my god, when it comes to the comic book shows, yeah, fucking Arrow and obviously Flash, but Arrow and Flash, oh my god, they do it so fucking perfectly, and I just loved that build-up to that big thing. And we had seen a Suicide episode earlier in the series, and you got the sense that Oliver and his crew, like Diggle and stuff, don't really trust him. But it says it all when his city was so torn apart and so much like terrorist activities and stuff that he had to call the Suicide Squad and fucking get the League of Assassins with him to take this threat out. That's fucking huge.
Yeah. Two things.
That's
One,
probably,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say that's probably the best fucking final episode that we've had of a fucking comic book show so far. It was like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. Two things. One, if you want to hear a more in-depth review of Arrow, go check out December on the X-Pound. Now we have 2 episodes for Arrow, so check that out. And other thing, that Miracle or whatever, is that like a prototype for the Mr. Miracle Venom thing that Mr. Miracle takes?
Pretty much, because it's called Miracle, which is its Chinese or Japanese name, which translates to the Miracle Cure.
Ah, so does that mean they're eventually going to make it the Mr. Miracle serum and Mr. Miracle's going to show up?
Unlikely. I think it was just like a placeholder because they wanted to introduce powers in this season to show that people can get powers in this world, ready for when Flash existed. But it was pretty awesome. Like I said, people need to check out Arrow Season 1 and 2. It's so fucking awesome. And so far, Season 3 has been just a treat. I can't stop watching those shows.
Nice.
Back to our host.
Alrighty.
Who looks exactly like, and I believe everyone will say this, he looks exactly like a certain wrestler who appeared in both WWE and WCW in the same night and appeared as DX and NWO.
I don't know.
I was on about Rick Rude. I thought one of you would have gone, oh yeah, he does look like Rick Rude.
Oh yeah, Rick Rude. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I do like that. But anyway, um, no. So, for the let's see, well,
Marcus?
Marcus, yes, Marcus, your best recurring TV show. I lost track of where I was for a minute there. Sorry.
Fair enough. I give my
It's cool.
best.
I'm here to catch you when you fall.
Oh.
But yes, my best recurring or returning TV show, I give to Property Brothers. I love that show. Of course, the hosts are twin brothers.
Is that like the Super Mario Brothers, but with houses?
Kind of.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's the hosts are, of course, twin brothers, Andrew and Jonathan Scott. Andrew is a realtor, and Jonathan is a contractor. But of course, being twin brothers, of course, Andrew knows a bit about contracting stuff because he's worked with his brother, and vice versa. Also, they both grew up, I believe, like on a farm or something when they moved to the city, so they have a lot of hands-on experience in the handiwork department. But it's awesome because Property Brothers is basically they go in to help like a couple or a family or even just a single person trying to find a new house for them. They give a budget, and basically what they do, and it's kind of brilliant, they go and show they get the list of what are your must haves, what do you want, what's your wish list. And Jonathan goes and finds the perfect house for them. That will have everything you want. It's move-in ready, yada yada yada. It has a size that you want, all the amenities that you want, but it's like $200,000 over your budget. And the reason he does that is to basically shock them into, hey, look, I know what you want. It's obvious I know what you want because as they're walking through it, they're like, this is the perfect house. He's like, but realistically, for the amount of money you want to spend, you're not going to get what you want unless you buy a fixer-upper. And then he has to convince them to do that. And a lot of times, they're all like apprehensive and scared about it. And I'm sitting here thinking, dude, you have a contractor standing right there who's saying, I'm going to do all the work in your budget. What the fuck do you have to worry about? Like, literally, Jonathan's like, I can give you what you want as long as you like the outside of the house, because that's something that you can't change, really, is the location and pretty much what the house looks like, unless you want to spend $200,000 on a completely new house. But he's like, I can go inside, tear up your house, and give you exactly what you want in your budget. And that's what they end up doing. And it's amazing what Jonathan can accomplish in the time frame that he sets himself and within that budget. Like, a lot of times I'm like, I don't know how he maintains that budget, especially when you, of course, have homeowners who come back in and want to add things to it. It's like, you guys realize this is going to cost more money, right?
I think the reason they would be a little nervous, however, when he does that is just because, speaking from experience, when I've had work done here and stuff like that, what happens when a builder gives you an estimate?
True.
At least it's never the fucking estimate. You always have to pay more. It's like they just pull a number out their ass and then say, yeah, it's going to be about 100. Oh, how cool. How much does it actually cost me? It's going to cost you 700.
Right. Well, the thing they were worried about, again, I hear the same thing over and over again, is, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't know if we have the time or energy to do the work. And I'm sitting here thinking, you're not going to do fucking anything. You have a contractor standing right there. He's doing all the work.
Yeah.
You're going to sit on your ass and just wait for him to complete it. That's all you need to do.
Yep, which that might be the other thing, if they want it done by a certain time, or shows like that are good, and it's always good to not quite know if someone's going to say yes or no, because I think that's kind of cool, because it shows it's real.
Yeah, and it's surprising.
Oh yeah, we're Skippy.
And it's surprising sometimes what houses they choose. Sometimes I don't agree with it. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, you picked the right one. And and again, like you said, you don't know what you're gonna find when you break through the walls and stuff, because you can find all bad stuff. Like you can find like asbestos or black mold in there, and it's like, well, that's $5,000 down the drain.
Yep.
But yeah, it's and like I said, the reveals at the end are just amazing because it's like episode after episode after episode. It's just like, really, Jonathan got it done within their time frame, on their budget, and basically gave them what they want. That is amazing. And they also have another show called Buying and Selling. You should check that out too. That's a great show.
And have they ever broke through one of the walls and found a victim of Bill Cosby?
No.
Ah. And hey, we're doing the year in review for TV. That kind of needed to come up once. I was almost tempted to give him worst actor just because of all that shit going on. But I was like, no, I won't.
I love Property Brothers, and especially with this season, because the season ended with a 4-part miniseries special of the Property Brothers at home, because they actually decided to either move out of their apartments if they were in apartments or living with mom and dad or something, and they went in together and bought a huge ass fucking house in Las Vegas and renovated the whole fucking thing. Like they have a spiral water slide in their backyard that goes down to their massive pool, and it like hooks up to like an upstairs, like a small upstairs, like exterior, like, well, it would have been a deck, which they like cemented in, so it would be a platform so they could slide down. I'm just like, oh my god, what are you guys doing? But it's their house, and it's a massive house.
Nice.
Yeah, and of course, but also they built it for family and stuff. Like they have a parent suite, so they basically built a suite for their parents in their house. So when their parents come out, they have a place to stay, and they have, like, it's literally a suite. It's got like a kitchenette and stuff in there, so they like their mom can cook and stuff without it disturbing them. It's awesome.
Which I'd make the case that they kind of had to.
Pretty
At
much.
least my opinion. Not that, I mean the whole stuff that you mentioned. Of a little bit, some of it sounded a little flashy, but at the same time, it kind of needs to be, because if your livelihood is renovating houses and you're renovating your house, you need to make yours look fucking awesome, because no one's gonna take you seriously if you go, yeah, we renovate your house, and then you renovate yours and it looks like shit. or it looks worse than what you've done to someone else.
True. And here's something you'd probably appreciate, Mo. So they're Scottish, if you couldn't tell. And so in their main living room, they had like incredibly, like fucking massively high ceilings. So what they did is they went out and they found like some armor, like suits of armor and stuff, and they put them up in like display cases. And then they took the TV. I don't know what size their TV is, but compared to everything in the room, it looks fucking tiny. But I think it's like a 60-inch or something. And they built an entertainment center, but above it, framed on the wall above their TV, is a massive fucking Scottish broadsword.
Nice.
Because they wanted to show off their heritage, and they went to like a little antique shop, kind of, like a cutlery antique shop, and was like, we want that sword, we want that armor. And when they put it together, I'm like, that's a massive sword.
Nice. Which I will say, 2014 is definitely the year to talk about Scottish people, as let's not forget, this is the year they also voted themselves out of independence.
Oh, really?
Yes, this was the year they got to vote into whether or not they wanted to be independent of the UK. And it was a little sloppy over here of basically everyone saying no, and the reason they shouldn't do it, it was like, no, you're not going to be able to use the pound anymore, you're not going to be able to do blah, 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 blah. And all the people saying yes were just like, but it could be better. And it was like, neither case really made their cases based on real evidence and facts as much. But I'm still glad they're part of the UK, because I do like Scotland.
Fair enough.
At least they're not Wales. No. Okay. I'm kidding, I like Wales.
Sure you do. But yeah, that's my best referee show. I do love that show, and I'm excited for the season premiere of Property Brothers for this year, which I think is on like Wednesday or Thursday.
Nice.
Fair enough. So, with that brings us to the final set of the categories for this video, and that is overall new TV show for the year. Starting off with worst new TV show. Strictly speaking, this could go either way in terms of being new or not, but I consider it new. And unfortunately, I reluctantly had to give it to Power Rangers Super Mega Force. Because while I overall enjoyed the season and I thought the actors really grew and the characters very well, there were some problems with this season. There was inconsistent use of the mentor and his ally. There was a lot of, misuse of things that didn't make sense in terms of getting new powers. Did some good cameos for past Rangers that worked pretty well, but they could have had more. There were some situations that didn't seem to make a whole lot of coherent sense. There were just some issues with the way it was paced out and plotted. Of course, the finale had some problems too, which they corrected some of that in the extended version, but not that much. So, while I overall did enjoy this season, of the things I've watched, it was the one that had the most issues that proceeded to me, so I had to give it to Power Rangers Super Mega Force.
Well, fair enough. That would be the worst of what you saw, which I can understand. Yeah. I really did love that show. I really did love Super Mega Force this year.
Fair
But
enough.
like I said, I hadn't liked Power Rangers since I think it was after Dino Thunder. I didn't like SPD onwards. Then Mega Force hit, and I liked Mega Force and Super Mega Force, which is like, yay, they did something good. And then I see the suits for next year, and I just weep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I had the same reaction when they announced Kyoryuger. I was like, those are the suits? Really?
With the Miss World sashes going down
Yeah.
the side.
I'm like, why do they have teeth sashes? That no. And with the like one ginormous shoulder pad, I'm just like, they're barbarians?
Yeah. If I wanted to see an Asian in a fucking stupid ass sash, I would just look at Marcus Shadow accepting the biggest douche in the universe award. Sing the song, Jim.
He's the biggest dude, the douche of the universe.
Even though he's not saying anything, I can clearly audibly hear a frowning face. It's weird.
Ah.
No, I do look forward to seeing Dino Charge. At least, giving it a chance because
I will
the
give it.
cast seems pretty good. And Judd Lin is back. It's like, okay, I want to see what he can do.
Agreed.
I am curious. I want to see what the series is like, and
And the thing,
hopefully
plus,
it's good. I hope it doesn't let me down, but hopefully it's good.
everything I've seen of them on social media, Facebook so far, the actors all seem like they're already really good friends, and they're all pretty awesome people. And we've seen that at least several of them, especially the Red and Blue Rangers, Brendan Major and Yoshi Sadaris, who both have tremendous martial arts and gymnastics type experience. So that's going to be really good if they let them do a lot of more fight scenes. And the theme song is pretty good.
The theme song is good. I like the theme song.
They seem like they're doing a really good job so far, so I'm really excited to see where they go with this. I think it's going to be really good.
Yep, and people wouldn't lie on social media for the purpose of making the series seem better. Hi, WWE.
No, but I'm saying, a guy like Brendan Major, like, there's all these photos of him, like, doing these crazy agility workouts, and his fiance is there doing the workouts with him and doing these crazy, like, gymnastics poses and yoga moves and shit. And there's Yoshi Sadaris doing stunt shit with the stunt team and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's like it does seem cool. I was just making the joke. He said, "Yeah, they all seem friends because of social media." I was like, "Well, to be fair, we've seen like in WWE, oh, these two are now together as a tag team. Suddenly, here's a load of videos of them working out together, training and eating together." It's like these have clearly been staged.
Now, Doctor, are you telling me that groups like the New Day are not a bunch of best friends who are really fun?
They probably are a group of friends that are really fun. They seem it. I mean, hell, they could be the dawning of a new day.
I know. But anyway, that one's mine. Mole, how about your best, I should say worst new TV show?
This show just pains me all over. Friends with Better Lives.
The hell's that?
It's a comedy. At least it started here this year. It might have been over there last year. I don't know, but I go by what's on TV here. And it was advertised as, it's a new comedy. Did you like the TV show Friends? Well, here's Friends with Better Lives. So it's like, it's promising from the get-go to be better than Friends. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be like Friends. It's going to be awesome. It's got Dawson in it. It's fucking got Dawson. And I know Jim's going to turn around and say, don't you mean James Van Der Beek? Shut up, he's Dawson. And basically...
No, I was going to turn around and ask if he was crying.
Probably when he watches what he's made. Watching the show, the acting is terrible. The jokes are generic as fuck. It's not that good. It's not that well made. It's nothing like Friends, and it's just fucking horrible. Now, admittedly, the not as good as Friends argument is mainly because of how they advertised it, at least on Comedy Central here. They may have advertised it differently in America. I'm not going to say they definitely advertised it the same way, but you can't turn around and say, yeah, this comedy, it's like Friends, and then have the title Friends with Better Lives and promise it a better version of Friends and give us something so shit. 2.5 Men looks intelligent next to it. No. Just no.
Fair enough.
No.
No. Marcus Shadow, how about your worst new show?
I gave mine to Peter Pan Live musical. Just so many things wrong with this. From, like Jim mentioned, Christopher Walken phoning it in, to a choreography being fucking terrible. Music was good. The sets were brilliant. Everything else was, oh my god, was just shit. It was bad. I did not like that whatsoever. I looked at it, I was like, this is not Peter Pan.
That was my response when I watched Hulk.
Fair enough.
Because fuck that film.
Fair enough.
Tinkerbell was really hot. But
Of
it's
course she
Julia
was.
Roberts.
Yeah,
It was
that's
Julia
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Of course she was. It's Julia Roberts.
Yeah, Julia Roberts, the only person I know who could play a prostitute and make people say, she's classy, I like her.
Pretty much. Back to Mr. Phoenix.
Stash. Oh.
I'd like to make a point that I like the movie Hook. I think it's a good movie.
So do I.
Anyway,
Yes.
yes, the final award of the night shall be the best new TV show of the year. To round this out. And I will go first. I'm going a little bit different, a little bit off the kilter on this one, because there's one other thing that I have seen. Best new TV show, I'm giving it to, what is the, I can read the title of this show. I want to make sure I get it, because I think I mistyped the title here. I just want to bring it up real quick here.
If you say friends with better lives, I'm hitting you.
No. Okay, my best new show is Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which airs on the HBO network.
Nice.
I haven't actually seen the episodes of the show, but they put basically all the stuff from the show on their YouTube channel. I've been watching it there, just in clip format. And it's awesome. It's kind of in the same vein as something like The Daily Show with Jon Stewart or The Colbert Report, but at the same time, it's distinctly different because, number one, it's being hosted by Jon Stewart, so number one, it's automatically being read by a posh British guy, so you automatically feel a sense of this guy must obviously be intelligent, know what he's talking about because he's British. And the second thing,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And the second thing is the fact of the matter that he looks at the news a little bit differently, and he looks at more overarching topics than just localized news stories because his show is not, a 5-day-a-week show like The Daily Show or something like that where he can respond to the news in real time. It's called Last Week Tonight because normally he's only on once a week, and he goes back and he'll, talk about stuff that's happened over the last couple of weeks, and he'll go over a more overarching topic. For example, let's say he might not do, I'm trying to think of a world event, like let's say he might not do the, let's say he might not cover, Sony getting hacked supposedly by North Korea, but he might do an overarching topic on cyber hacking in general. Something like that, and he would cover that within that topic, but he would go about it. And the thing about John Oliver is he and his team really thoroughly do their research, so while he is being very entertaining in the way he's telling this news, and he is making great jokes and throwing some punchlines in, all the facts he's throwing at you are also accurate. So you're actually learning about, much like with Jon Stewart, you're learning a lot about the topic, while at the same, and basically being educated on this topic and learning about why this topic is relevant and why you should care, while at the same time, you're laughing and being entertained because of the jokes that he's throwing in, and the hilarious ways that he's referencing certain things, or the funny stuff that he finds and he puts on there. And it's a really entertaining show. If you get a chance, go over to the YouTube channel, just type in Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on the YouTube channel, go to his YouTube channel. He's got videos of most of the bits that he's done on the show over this past half a season he's been on the air. So far, half season, full season, however long it's been. And there's just a lot of really funny, entertaining stuff and different topics that he talks about. Everything from, things like the shooting, the riots at Ferguson and the events there, to the wage gap in society today, to the lottery, to the gambling problem in Singapore, to,
This is the guy you showed me videos of for the Ferguson stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
That guy's awesome.
John Oliver is excellent, and I do encourage you to go watch his show. He's great. He's kind of taking the internet by storm with his clips. They kind of they're getting shared everywhere. Huffington Post has been throwing them up a lot. He's been kind of everywhere. Yes, it is a bit of a leftist lean. Most of these shows tend to have a leftist lean, but it's still really entertaining and it's really educational because you learn about these issues. So you're learning about these facts you might not know about the issues, while at the same time you're being highly entertained and laughing at a lot of the jokes. And it's just a lot of fun to watch. Go check it out. It's a great show. I love it. You're going to be informed. You're going to be entertained, and you're going to be feeling a lot better off for watching it.
He was awesome in Community.
Was he? That's right. He was the professor, wasn't he?
Yep.
Nice.
Professor Ian Duncan.
Okay. Check that out too. I heard that role was great too. So. Yeah.
Now he's the professor of life, or at
Pretty
least
much.
modern society.
Yes. And he also occasionally is known to do interviews. He interviewed Stephen Hawking, amongst others. He talked to different people, so he's known to do that too. So that's always fun. And just check it out; it's good stuff. So, with that, Mole, how about your best new show?
Oh, thank you. And I will just say for the record, I really hate Daily Show. It's
Fair enough.
completely ass biased to the point of being stupid to watch. Try and find someone impartial to be educated. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I went with The Flash,
Nice.
Oh.
the spin-off from Arrow.
Then you're the DC universe.
Because the spin-off from Arrow, it worked, and it's been really great so far. I think we're about mid-season into it, but it's really fucking fun. And basically, they've done some great crossover episodes, like Arrow vs. Flash was awesome, and Brave and the Bold was awesome. Which
Ahoy!
it's like, and the first episode, which was technically kind of a crossover, was good, and just overall, it's just been great. And you got like this mystery about who was the man in yellow that killed his killed his mother, and check it out, you got Dawson's dad, who was John Wesley Snipes, I believe, who he played the original Flash in the old Flash live-action TV show as Flash's dad.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, which was awesome. And Mark Hamill's going to be back in it soon, reoccurring in his role.
That's the Trickster. Yeah, that's going to be awesome too.
So you watch Flash?
I've read about it. I haven't watched it, but I've read a lot about it. It sounds pretty awesome. There's another character they said the article is recurring to, a scientist lady who's recurring that character from the original show too, apparently.
I don't think she's recurred yet.
Okay, well maybe she's going to, but they mentioned that was happening. But anyway.
Unless it was but like I said, overall, it's acted great, and it's pretty damn fun to watch too. It's really great because it's different to Arrow. Because I would argue that both characters are almost opposites, but that's why it's wonderful. I prefer Arrow, but Flash is really great, and it is totally worth checking out.
Fair enough. Now here's a question: can we have Flashpoint the shit out of the DC universe into the movies, and then say that Ben Affleck is Thomas Wayne?
Flashpoint has technically already happened. Because according to the story of this, when his mother gets killed, he was there to witness it. And a few other little things that they mention about the stuff like that, it's heavily implied that this universe could have been Flashpoint could have already happened within this universe.
So this is New 52 Flash, okay.
Although he is different, but it's still cool. Obviously, he's different for the purpose of a TV show, but it's still pretty good. I love how they've done it, and I love like trying to see him get with his girl and stuff. It's great, and Barry's played awesomely. So yeah, I would give it to the Flash.
Awesome.
Back to Jim.
So, Marcus Shadow, wrap us up with your best new TV show.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go with a show I didn't think I was gonna like. I ended up really liking this show. Need to watch more of it, but it is a good show, and I gave it to Gotham. I love the ambiance of the world they created. It feels like Gotham City, and the actors they got to portray the iconic roles are brilliant. You know, from Gordon to Riddler. You know what I mean? All of them. They're really, really good. They even have, like, as we stated in the review, new characters like Fish Mooney. One character I'm not entirely sure I like what they've done with is the Penguin, but I have to see what they do with him.
He's been pretty good in this series so far. He's basically the perfect Starscream in the series. Like, no matter what side he's on, because he does swap sides, not in terms of good evil, in terms of the criminals.
Right.
You see him play everyone. Like at one, like at the point I'm at in the series right now, he's managed to successfully manipulate the other gang into heavily taking over Mooney's empire, and then managing to do a meeting with her where he goes face to face as her equal and gives her his terms. I'm like, he's wonderful. He's the perfect fucking Starscream. He's cool. I like Uncle Penguin.
So he's evolving into the Penguin we know and love, who's starting to gain that confidence of his intellect and his intelligence.
He's always had it. Because if you see him in the first episode, what's the first thing he does? He rats her out to the cops, but not because he's worried or thinks it's the right thing to do. It's so he can take over. We know this. And that's the kind of the character he is, where he's going to take the more devious route on to his build to power, and I like that.
And he's and then he's going to slit a dude's throat and take his sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he evolves.
Cool.
I'm hoping the evolution of Penguin is that he gets more confidence and he starts to grow more of a backbone. Because the one thing I didn't like about Penguin in that pilot episode was he seemed like too much of a coward to be Penguin. Because to me, Penguin's never been a coward.
That's because in the role he's in the series so far, he doesn't have the full mob behind him to have that arrogance. So he acts like a coward, but he's clearly not. Like, he tells Gordon, "Don't kill, please, I'll go," and stuff, and Gordon lets him go and stuff. What does he do a few episodes later? He marches the fuck straight into the police station and reveals, "Hey, I believe you've been looking for me." And they're like, "Wait, what?" And he's got troops with him, because what he did is wash up and go to the other gang and manipulate his way into that. And I'm like, he's fucking genius. His cowardness is basically, you think he's just a little coward, but he's genius. He's kind of got this manipulative little mind.
Nice.
He's really smart. I'm just sad knowing that badass Penguin is going to become some, short little hunched over, crotchety old dude.
Yep, or more like a badass soprano like mob boss.
That could be awesome, yes, I can see that. I just really hope he doesn't get a bottle shoved in his damn eye.
See, I don't think he's like I said, this version of Penguin, I don't see him when Batman's Batman, I don't see him being a top hat and monocle Penguin. I see him as the serious fucking gangster Penguin, which is wonderful. I always prefer that version of Penguin.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I love where they're going with Gotham. Like I said, I love just how the world feels, and the fact that the other thing I was worried about with Gotham was when they announced like the cast and the characters and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work, but every single one of those actors and actresses have done a great job, and so kudos to them, and I look forward to seeing more.
Indeed.
Take us out, Jim.
Alrighty, well, that has been the first video of our Year in Review Awards for 2014. Stay tuned, same Gotham time, same Gotham channel next week, where we will go through our film awards, going through the best and worst for the film awards. The week after that, we will be doing our best and worst video game awards, and then the final weekend of the month, we will be going through our miscellaneous awards, including wrestling, including our videos, and including anything else we haven't covered already.
Final 2 weekends of the month.
We're still debating how the last bit's going to be formatted out. We'll let you know.
It's the final 2 weekends because there's 5 weekends in the month of January, as Mole pointed out.
Technically, the last one is the 1st of February, but yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, we're figuring out how that's going to be split up. We'll get back to you, but stay tuned for the coming weeks, and we'll let you know well in advance.
It's also worth pointing out it's not every Sunday.
Hmm?
Well, pay-per-view.
What about pay-per-view? Royal Rumble, 30 men, over the top rope. Maybe you heard of it.
So that weekend, of course, will be Saturday as per.
And that week will be Saturday. It's still the weekend.
Yeah, I was just addressing that because at the beginning and during this bit, you mentioned every Sunday.
All right, fine. for the weekend of the 24th, I believe it is. It'll be the Saturday that the show will air on, of course, because of our usual switch between Around the Pound and X Marks to accommodate for the wrestling pay-per-view.
Yep. Royal Rumble.
Indeed. So, until next time, Marcus Shadow, Chris the Mole, thank you for joining me for the awards.
My pleasure, Jim.
You're welcome.
And we'll have one of you host the next one. It's a movie awards, so probably Marcus Shadow.
Yep, it'll be me.
And until next time, I'm James Phoenix. We'll see you next week, folks. Peace.